Hey everyone, what is going on? So I have another video for you today, and these are my battles that I did. I didn't do them on stream because, as I said, I've been having issues with my internet connection, so I haven't been able to stream, which is really unfortunate. But the team I am looking at today is going to be Nidoqueen in the lead with Jellicent and Scrafty. So this is, I want to call it an OG team. It's a team that was really strong before Nidoqueen was nerfed. Now, Nidoqueen, it used to take 5 Poison Jabs to get the Poison Fang. It takes 6 now, and that does matter, even though it's only 1. It does matter. I still think Nidoqueen is okay, but obviously it's not what it once was, right? So, yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into these battles and see what we got going on for us. I wanted to try this OG team, and I actually did really well with it. So right now I do have my Jellicent into the Cresselia. Cresselia is going to go ahead and commit both shields so it can win this matchup. And there's the second shield. That's totally fine. I'm going to be able to get off this Shadow Ball right now into the Jellicent. Now, I am losing Switch, which is, yeah, not great, but at least I do get 2 shields. So I'm going to be able to take both those shields, and I'm going to bring in my Nidoqueen. Now, I do take Grass Knot easily from Cresselia, so I'm not going to shield anything here. I'm going to rely on Scrafty to win. I'm going to take another one. Actually, I think I only take... Does my opponent get to a third one? I don't think they do. They do not. Okay, so they do not get to another one against my Nidoqueen. Out comes Giratina with Dragon Breath. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Earth Power right now into this Giratina. And then go into my Scrafty and hope that I could win with 2 shields with my Scrafty, but it's going to be a Talonflame, so it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and go for my Foul Play right now with Scrafty, right? Going for that Foul Play. My opponent will get off an attack. I know it's going to be a Flame Charge, but I do go ahead and shield it. I really can't afford to take any attacks here. Unfortunately, a Foul Play from this range will not be enough to KO, but I'm going to go ahead and go for it. And I could have undercharged that because I knew it wasn't going to KO, so I can get more farm, but that's okay, I didn't do that. I'm going to go ahead and shield this one, and now farm down. So I do, now the Giratina is coming in. I'm going to go ahead and take this one. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and take this Dragon Claw, not that I have a choice, right? But I'm going to charge up to Foul Play, because I know a Foul Play does not KO from this range, and I'm going to go into Nidoqueen. And my Nidoqueen is going to try to get to a Poison Fang. I do make it, so now I'm going to be able to debuff my opponent, which is huge. Now a Foul Play will KO. Even if it didn't debuff at that point, it would still KO at this range. But I'm going to be able to win CMP and take this game. But that is going to be a good game, very well played to my opponent there. So Giratina does go down. GG's. GG's. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. Definitely a tough one. Nidoqueen into Gliscor. This is a tough lead. This is definitely a tough lead. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't go into Jellicent, because if I go into Jellicent and they switch out, I don't want that Gliscor on my Scrafty, right? So I'm actually going to double shield my Nidoqueen, which is not ideal. I don't like going down 2 shields to 0, especially right off the bat. But I'm going to go ahead and do it because this is a tough matchup, and at least my opponent does not bait. I'm going to go ahead and go for this Poison Fang right now. I charged up to a Stone Edge earlier just to see if maybe they would shield. I didn't expect the shield, but I have seen double nuke Nidoqueens ever since the nerf. So I do go ahead and shield that. Now I'm going to be able to farm down, and I do go for the farm down. I could have thrown my attack. That would have prevented my opponent from getting to this Night Slash, but I still survive a Night Slash, so that's fine. Jellicent is coming in. I'm going to go ahead and go for the bait right now. Not necessarily a bait. It's more so that I want to debuff the Jellicent because I didn't think that they would shield. So now this is the bait, because now, since they're debuffed, this would do more damage to the Earth Power, right? And my opponent does go ahead and shield it. So now they are double debuffed, and I'm barely able to make it to the Earth Power. I did not know if I was going to be able to make it to this Earth Power, but I do make it, and that does a lot of damage. You'll love to see it. My opponent is bringing in Cobalion. Oh, look at this. This is so weird. I have never seen it. Well, first of all, my opponent's Pokemon is invisible. I have seen that before. But look what else happens. My charge attacks have white bubbles around them. I've never seen that before. That is so weird. It's like white circles around the charge attacks. I have never seen. Let me know in the comments if you've seen that before, because I've personally never seen that. That was so weird. So Stone Edge is going to go ahead and connect, and I do get off a Shadow Ball against the Cobalion, which is really good for me. Man, that is so weird. So Shadow Ball is going to connect. I really do want to make it to a Surf, and I do get to the Surf. Very nice. So this Surf is going to be enough to KO, and then my Scrafty is going to be able to win against that Cobalion. And I actually take a snapshot. I was trying to take a snapshot to post it on Twitter and say, hey, has anyone seen this before? But my opponent forfeited, so I wasn't able to. So good game. That was really weird. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, tough lead. I'm going to go ahead and go into my Jellicent. Out comes Pidgeot. Definitely tough, right? Tough lead, tough secondary matchup. If I had Bubble, this would be a bit better, but I don't. I have Hex, and I do like Hex, to be honest. So my opponent is going to go ahead and go for this attack. It's going to be a Feather Dance. I did not expect the Brave Bird. Usually it's Feather Dance, and then the next attack is Brave Bird. So because Brave Bird would not KO me from this range, and they would debuff themselves. So I do get off that Surf. I'm going to be able to get off another one, but unfortunately, even another Surf after this is not going to be enough to KO thanks to the debuff. It would be close, but like with the Hex, is really not doing anything. So I do allow this to go, fully expecting the Brave Bird, and it is Brave Bird. Actually, a Surf would have KO'd after that Brave Bird for sure. So I could have shielded that, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Nidoqueen. My opponent is going to go ahead and throw an attack. I am kind of relying on my Scrafty at this point in time to win this, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it. It's Talonflame in the back, not looking so hot for me. I'm going to go ahead and go for the bait. Come on, let's get this bait going. Will my opponent shield? Yes, they will. That is huge. And my opponent does throw an attack, 100% expecting the Flame Charge, but it's actually a Brave Bird. I'm actually really surprised they threw Brave Bird. Now, because of that Brave Bird, I could have baited here because the Foul Play will KO the Scrafty, but I don't bait. My opponent does shield, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this one, and this is going to be another Brave Bird. So because of that Brave Bird, this is going, now they're quadruple debuffed. That is going to allow me to farm down and get all that energy. If my opponent Feather Dance both of those attacks, or at the very least one of them, I think my opponent would have won this. I am going to be able to actually win this. I go for the Power Punch and then the Foul Play. So the Foul Play is going to get the Walrein low. And I'm going to be able to catch on my Nidoqueen. So this is going to KO the Nidoqueen. That's totally fine. Thank you for your sacrifice, Nidoqueen. Appreciate it. So I'm going to be able to bring in the Scrafty and farm down. But yeah, if my opponent went for Flame Charge, I'm pretty sure my opponent would have won that instead of going straight Brave Bird. But anyway, good game. Well played. Let's go ahead and move into the next one. Tough lead. The tough lead in this battle. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Jellicent. My opponent is staying in. I guess we'll find out what my opponent has now. I do click on my move on CMP. I know I lose CMP, but I went for it because I wanted to get off this attack before my opponent possibly switches out or anything like that. And I wanted to get a shield, right? So my opponent is continuing to stay in. That tells me they might have something weak in the back to Jealous, but they actually bring in Pidgeot, maybe trying to catch a Shadow Ball at this health, or not at this health, but at this range. But luckily I decided to throw Surf, so they do not catch it. I'm kind of surprised Pidgeot didn't come in immediately, but I guess they wanted to get a shield or something, which my opponent was able to do. Now, because switch timers are not aligned, I can go ahead and bring in my Nidoqueen. My opponent is going to go ahead and throw an attack. I don't want to shield my Nidoqueen because I know they have Swampert in the back. It is Brave Bird, which is unfortunate, but as I said, I know what they have in the back. They get to another attack, which again is not great, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and take that matchup. I do get debuffed. Swampert coming in. Swampert might go for the farm down. No, it's Charizard. Maybe expecting me to throw immediately, but I did not throw immediately. I held onto my energy, and I'm able to get off the Poison Fang. Although I guess Earthquake would have been okay against Charizard anyway. It still would have done a lot of damage. My opponent is going to go ahead and throw an attack. I do let this go. So what I'm going to do is switch out immediately, fully anticipating the Swampert to come in and try and snipe me, and that's what happens. So Swampert is going to go ahead and throw an attack. It's going to be a Hydro Cannon, that's fine. And I am able to get to a move, but not before another attack comes in. I do shield this one. Kind of concerned about the Earthquake now, but it is a Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon makes sense there, but that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Power Up Punch into the Swampert. And my opponent does let that go. Come on, before an attack. But no, they do get to an attack. Now, will a Hydro be enough to KO me? It is Hydro. It's not enough to KO me. And I do farm down with Scrafty. You'll love to see it. Now, I can't make it to a foul play, unfortunately. But I'm hoping my opponent thinks I did. But no, they don't shield. And I do bring in Jellicent. I'm going to be able to throw this Surf. But my opponent still has an attack. So that's really unfortunate for me. And we see him to the next move. It's going to be a Blast Spin that's going to KO. A Dragon Claw would have KO'd as well. But good game, well played to my opponent. Definitely a tough one. Really well played, GG's. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. Nidoqueen into Dragonite. Okay, it's okay. Not too bad, not too great. It's okay. It's kind of neutral, right? I'm going to go ahead and just throw the Poison Fang just to debuff the Dragonite, get some damage off on it. I know they're not going to shield because they know this is a Poison Fang. Cresselia coming in. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Jellicent. Hopefully they don't have Grass Knot. So an attack coming in. And it's going to be Moonblast, so they do not have Grass Knot, which is good for my Jellicent, right? So I'm going to go ahead and Overfarm, going for the Shadow Ball right now. That Shadow Ball is going to connect. I think I Overfarm quite a bit here. My opponent does get to another Moonblast, but yeah, I'm just going to let this go, just Overfarm, just to put it in Surf range, so I could go for a Surf at some point. So I do go for the Surf right now. This is going to be enough to KO the Cresselia. I do not think that they're going to shield, and they do not shield. And now out comes Dragonite. Could have baited here, could have, should have, would have, right? I don't bait, I go for the Shadow Ball, and my opponent is going to go ahead and shield that. That's fine. So I bring in my Nidoqueen right now, and out comes a Dragon Claw from this Dragonite. So totally fine, going to be able to take that one. I do get to a Poison Fang, but my opponent makes a really good catch onto Cobalion, so that's really unfortunate for me. So good catch. I can't switch out here, but I do resist the fighting attacks. My opponent is going to go ahead and get off a Sacred Sword. I just let it go. Sacred Sword actually is not enough to KO me, but they do thumb down before I can get to another Poison Fang. I do make it, but I don't get it off. So bringing in the Jellicent. I know this is a Sacred Sword. I do double resist it, so I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. So no problem. So I do go ahead and get off this Shadow Ball right now. So this Shadow Ball is going to not connect, and I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Scrafty, and I'm still not going to shield it. I know I have 2 shields, but I'm still not going to shield this because I know I could take one pretty comfortably, so I do take it. This one I have to shield. You know, I could barely survive this, but I have to shield this one. So I'm going to go ahead and do just that. Dragonite comes in. As soon as I saw the Dragonite come in, I'm going to go ahead and throw the Foul Play. And now we're looking really good because this is going to be enough to KO that Dragonite, and now I could farm down. And that's going to be a good game. Even if my opponent got to an attack, I had a shield. Good game. Moving on, Nidoqueen into Sylveon. You absolutely love to see it. Now, I know that Sylveon has Psyshock, but still a good matchup. I do survive with Psyshock. Out comes Giratina. Now, you would think this is a dominating matchup, and it's not bad, but it's not the greatest because Giratina is so tanky. And they just get to the moves so fast, and Foul Play doesn't KO, right? So I'm going to go ahead and throw this Foul Play. And I threw NCMP. My opponent is going to go ahead and get off an attack. Totally fine. I know I survive. Easy. Dragon Claw. I'm not going to shield that. And I'm going to throw, again, as soon as I get to the Foul Play. So this Foul Play is going to get the shield. And my opponent will go ahead and throw an attack. So I'm going to go ahead and let this Dragon Claw go through. Definitely going to throw the Dragon Claws. Whether they have Shadow Force, Shadow Sneak, whatever the other attack is, Ancient Power, they're going to throw the Dragon Claw, right? I do go ahead and shield this one. Now, I thought my opponent was going to win Switch because I thought they would shield this Foul Play. They actually don't shield this Foul Play, which is huge for me. So this is going to be enough to KO. Maybe my opponent miscounted. They didn't realize I was at the Foul Play. I'm not really sure. Maybe they thought I was baiting, but that is really good for me. Outcomes, that's why it's good. Swampet's coming out, and Nidoqueen gets to avoid the Swampet, and it gets to realign itself to Sylveon. So I feel like my opponent should have shielded, even though, obviously, I mean, they don't know I have Jellicent, but still, they know I have Nidoqueen, and they would have wanted the Swampet on the Nidoqueen, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and take this attack. It's going to be an Earthquake. Does so much damage, but that's fine. My opponent makes an attempted catch. I'm not going to let it happen. This is a quick attack Sylveon, but that's cool. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Poison Fang right now. Just to do the damage, just debuff it, super effective. I do live with Psyshock, as I mentioned earlier, so no problem. I'm going to go ahead and take this, and that's fine. I want to get to a Poison Fang. I do make it to the Poison Fang in time, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it just to get rid of the Sylveon. And out comes Swampert. My opponent throws immediately. I guess, I mean, they don't want me to get to another attack. That's fine. I have a lot of energy on Jellicent, though, so I'm going to go ahead and throw the Shadow Ball. I'm not going to bait here. Surf would be neutral as well, but I'm just going to throw the Shadow Ball. My opponent does make it to an attack, but I can safely shield this, and that Hex is going to connect, and that is going to KO the Swampert. And that's going to be a great game to my opponent, to all of my opponents. Thank you so much for the battles. I really do appreciate that. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.